Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the rich and fascinating world of British numismatics as we explore the most valuable top 8 United Kingdom threepence coins. These aren't just any old pocket change. Some of these rare and historical coins have fetched hundreds and even thousands of dollars in international auctions, especially when in unique or even damaged condition. Whether you're just starting your collection or you've been searching through bags of change for years, this list might surprise you. So, let's unlock the hidden value of the humble UK threepence coin and see which ones could be the crown jewels in your coin stash. So let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom 3 pence from 1960. While it may seem like just another brass coin from the past, this particular piece, especially in very fine condition, can hold far more value than you'd expect. If you're curious whether that old coin in your drawer could be worth a surprising amount in the auction market, stay with us as we explore its rarity, unique traits, collector demand, and how much it could sell for in US dollars today. The 3 pence coin, often affectionately referred to as the threepenny bit, was a staple of British coinage for centuries. However, the design we're focusing on today, the 1960 version, belongs to a later era in the life of the coin. Issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the 1960 threepence was struck in nickel brass and formed part of the post-war British coinage system. At this time, the UK was still using the old pre-decimal currency system, where 12 pence made a shilling and 20 shillings made a pound. This coin carries both historical and sentimental value, symbolizing a transitional period in British economic history just before decimalization in 1971. Although millions were minted, over time, many were lost, melted down, or damaged, making well-preserved examples increasingly scarce. What makes the 1963 pence coin so distinct is its bold, dodecagonal or 12-sided shape. Unlike the more familiar round coins, this unique shape made it instantly recognizable by touch, even in the pocket. The obverse features a youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Mary Gillick, which is iconic for its simplicity and grace. Surrounding her profile are the words, plus Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina FD. On the reverse, you'll find a beautiful design of a crowned portcullis, a gate design inspired by Tudor architecture flanked by chains. Beneath this is the date, 1960. The bold lines and detailed engraving make this coin a mini work of art and a standout in any collection. While the 1960 threepence isn't the rarest in terms of mintage with over 67 million produced, the true rarity comes from finding it in excellent condition today. Many of these coins were heavily circulated and now exist in poor or damaged condition. Coins with significant wear, corrosion, or scratches are generally not sought after by serious collectors. However, if a coin is even in damaged but identifiable condition, it can still attract beginner collectors or nostalgic buyers. But the real treasure lies in those few examples that have survived in very fine or better condition. Collectors are often willing to pay a premium for such coins because they are getting harder to find as time passes. Let's talk money. A 1960 UK 3 pence coin in heavily circulated or damaged condition might only fetch between $100,000 in casual sales or online listings. But here's where it gets interesting. A coin graded as very fine can sell for $25,000 depending on appearance and market demand. If you're lucky enough to find one in extremely fine or even uncirculated condition, the auction value can rise to $50,000 or sometimes even higher with the right buyer. Special varieties, such as proof coins or coins with striking errors, can command a much higher price, sometimes reaching well over $76,000 in competitive auctions. If you're looking to collect or sell a 1963 pence coin, here are some essential tips. First, always assess the condition. Look for coins with minimal wear, clear edges, and visible facial details on the Queen's portrait. Avoid coins with green corrosion or significant pitting. Second, store your coins in a dry, airtight holder or coin flip to prevent further damage. And third, consider getting high-quality pieces graded by a reputable service like NGC or PCGS. This can significantly boost the coin's value and trustworthiness when selling. Finally, keep an eye on auction sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and British coin forums. You might snag a great deal or get inspiration on pricing if you're planning to sell your own. So there you have it, the 1960 United Kingdom 3 pence coin. A deceptively simple coin with a bold design and growing collector interest. While not the rarest by mintage numbers, its true value lies in its condition and historical appeal. If you've got one lying around in very fine condition or better, you might just be holding a small piece of numismatic treasure worth big money in today's auction market. Next up, the United Kingdom 3 pence from the year 1954. Now, at first glance, this coin might seem like just another outdated piece of currency from the mid-20th century. Especially in fine condition, this coin has become an object of interest among collectors worldwide. What makes it so special? Why does it command such high prices in the auction markets? And how much could this little coin be worth in US dollars today? Stick around as we explore all these fascinating aspects of the 1954 British threepence coin. To truly understand the value of the 1954 threepence coin, we need to rewind the clock to post-war Britain. The threepence, often called a threepence in casual British speech, was an essential part of the UK's pre-decimal currency system. By 1954, Queen Elizabeth II had just taken the throne following the death of her father, King George VI, in 1952. However, coins bearing the image of King George VI were still being minted in the early years of her reign. Here's the twist: despite the official mintage records showing no general circulation, threepence coins were issued in 1954. A few coins bearing that date do exist. These are believed to have been struck as part of special test runs or sets, and possibly not meant for circulation at all. This makes the 1954 threepence one of the rarest dates in the entire brass-nickel series. This is the type of historical oddity that makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby, where rarity, intention, and mystery collide. The 1954 United Kingdom threepence is octagonal in shape, cast in a distinctive 12-sided brass design that makes it immediately recognizable. It weighs approximately 6.8 grams and measures about 21 millimeters across. On the obverse, you'll find the crown portrait of King George VI facing left, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. The reverse showcases a charming design of a Tudor portcullis, a historic symbol of British monarchy and government, created by artist Francis Madge Kitchener. Despite being from the mid-20th century, this coin retains the pre-decimal denomination 3 pence, which ceased to exist after decimalization in 1971. The 1954 coin is particularly noted for its limited or possibly non-existent circulation, and the few pieces discovered have largely come from proof sets or experimental strikes. When found in fine condition, the fine details in the design remain sharp, and the brass color gives it a rich golden hue. Even in damaged or worn condition, the 1954 threepence draws substantial attention in collector circles due to its extremely low availability. Unlike other years where millions of coins were minted, this coin seems to have had a mintage so small that examples rarely come to market. Many numismatists believe the coin was never officially issued to the public, and the few surviving examples were either part of collector sets or trial mintings. Because of this, demand for even the most imperfect versions of this coin remains high. Collectors looking to complete a full George VI set, or those interested in mint errors and anomalies, are always on the lookout for a 1954 threepence no matter the condition. In fact, damaged coins, or those with were still often fetch considerable prices, especially when authenticated. Now let's talk money. How much is this coin worth today? The value of a 1954 United Kingdom threepence varies significantly depending on its condition and provenance. In fine condition, meaning moderate or with all major details still clearly visible, this coin has been known to sell for anywhere between $56,000 at auction. In higher grades, particularly uncirculated or proof-like specimens, prices can exceed $95,000 or more, especially when bidding wars break out among competitive collectors. It's important to note that due to its rarity, even identifying a genuine 1954 threepence requires expert validation. Some counterfeits and altered dates have made their way into the market, so certified authenticity from reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC can significantly impact the coin's market value and buyer confidence. For collectors, the key to acquiring or evaluating a 1954 threepence lies in research and caution. First, always buy from reputable dealers or auction houses that offer guarantees of authenticity. If you already own a 1954 threepence or suspect you might, consider having it professionally graded. This can add credibility and greatly increase its value. Second, condition plays a crucial role. While even damaged coins are valuable, coins in fine or very fine condition are far more desirable. Store your coins properly in protective holders or cases to prevent oxidation and scratches, especially given that brass coins are prone to environmental damage. Lastly, keep an eye on auctions, coin shows, and collector forums. Sometimes, rare coins like this appear unexpectedly in old family collections or estate sales. With patience and a sharp eye, you might just stumble upon one of these hidden treasures. So, there you have it, the remarkable story of the 1954 United Kingdom threepence, a small brass coin that holds a big place in the world of numismatics. With its unique history, limited availability, and high collector demand, It stands as a shining example of how even the tiniest pieces of metal can tell powerful stories and command impressive prices. If you're lucky enough to find one of these in fine condition, you could be holding a coin worth $1 million. Next up, the 3 pence coin from 1941. While it might look like just another small brass coin at first glance, its rich history, unique features, and growing rarity, especially in circulated fine condition, are capturing the attention of collectors across the world. Even more exciting, it has recently shown strong performance in international auctions, with dollar values that may surprise you. The 1941 UK 3 pence coin comes from a crucial moment in British and world history. Produced during the height of World War II, this coin represents more than just monetary value. It symbolizes resilience during one of the most challenging periods in modern times. First introduced in 1937 as part of King George VI's new coinage series, this 12-sided brass coin replaced the silver 3 pence that had circulated for centuries. It was meant to be more durable, easier to distinguish by touch, and cost-effective during wartime resource management. The 1941 issue had a relatively high mintage due to the wartime economy, but the years of wear, oxidation, and loss over time have made surviving specimens, especially those in collectible condition, much harder to come by today. One of the most eye-catching aspects of the 1941 3 pence coin is its unusual shape. The dodecagonal 12-sided design sets it apart from other coins in the UK's currency history. Minted from brass, 79% copper, 20% zinc, and 1% nickel, the coin has a golden hue that tends to tarnish into a darker, duller color over time. On the obverse, we find the crowned head of King George VI, facing left, with the Latin inscription Georgievs 6D, G, BR, OMN, Rex F laughing face, IND, IMP. The reverse features a stylized design of a thrift plant, a hardy symbol of endurance, with the words 3 pence and the year 1941 boldly minted beneath it. Its chunky size and weight, around 6.8 grams, combined with the non-round shape, made it easy for people to identify by feel, a practical feature appreciated during blackout periods in wartime Britain. While the 1941 issue was minted in large numbers, the vast majority of these coins saw extensive circulation. As a result, many of the surviving examples today are in heavily worn or damaged condition, scratched, dented, or deeply oxidized. Finding a 1941 3 pence in fine grade, where major details like the king's facial features and the thrift plant design are still clearly visible, but with moderate wear, is becoming increasingly challenging. Even coins with environmental damage, such as surface corrosion or darkened patina, are now being preserved due to their historical value. Collectors value this coin not just for its metallic content, but for the story it tells of a wartime economy, of a changing British coinage system, and of a monarch who led the nation through one of its darkest times. As the supply of decent condition coins continues to shrink, demand is steadily increasing among numismatists who aim to complete their World War II-era British coin sets. Now to the part many of you are most interested in: how much is this coin actually worth on the auction market today? For a 1941 3 pence coin in fine circulated condition, current values on platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and UK numismatic markets show sales in the range of $36,000, depending on the coin's overall eye appeal and color tone. But here's where it gets interesting. Coins with slightly better preservation, or with minimal damage but strong details, can fetch $65,000 at collector auctions, especially when offered as part of sets or accompanied by historical documentation. Exceptionally well-preserved pieces, especially those with unique patinas or provenance, have been known to go for upwards of $150,000 or more, particularly when sold to overseas collectors fascinated by wartime British coins. If you're hoping to collect or invest in the 1941 UK 3 pence, here are a few useful tips. First, always look closely at the edges, and the color clean edges and minimal oxidation are preferred, even if the coin is circulated. Second, make sure the details of King George VI portrait and the thrift plant are still visible. Heavy wear that blurs these designs drastically reduces the coin's appeal. Third, keep an eye on bulk listings or old coin jars. Many people overlook this coin due to its brass appearance, mistaking it for a token or foreign piece. Lastly, if you plan to resell, consider certifying any higher-grade examples through a grading service like NGC or PCGS, as this can increase both buyer confidence and final sale prices. So, there you have it. The story of the United Kingdom's 1941 3 pence coin, a small yet powerful reminder of Britain's wartime resilience, now becoming a treasured collectible for history lovers and numismatists alike. While it might not make you a millionaire overnight, This coin offers both historical significance and rising market value, especially in fine condition or better. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting your journey, the 1941 brass threepence is a brilliant piece to add to your collection. You never know when a little piece of history might show up in your hands. Next up, the United Kingdom 3p coin from the year 1953, specifically in very fine condition. Whether you're a longtime collector or just starting your journey into the world of rare British coins, this episode will open your eyes to the hidden gems that might be sitting in your drawers or coin jars. We'll uncover the story behind the 1953 threepence, what makes it unique, how rare it truly is even in damaged states, and how much it is fetched in modern-day auctions, sometimes even in dollars. Let's jump right in. The 1953 UK threepence, also known as a brass threepenny bit, was issued during a very special time in British history. This was the year of Queen Elizabeth II's coronation, and the coins minted in 1953 were among the first to bear her portrait. The threepence itself had a rich legacy dating back to the 16th century, but by 1953, it had taken on a modern form, a 12-sided coin made of brass, introduced in 1937 during the reign of King George VI. Its distinctive shape made it easy to recognize by touch, a useful feature for everyday use. But 1953 was no ordinary minting year. It was a symbolic beginning of a new Elizabethan era, making every coin of that year historically significant. The 1953 threepence coin has some standout features that set it apart from earlier or later editions. First and foremost is the portrait of a young Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, designed by Mary Gillick. Unlike the later crown portraits, this one shows the Queen wearing a laurel wreath, emphasizing youth and grace. The reverse side of the coin features a Tudor portcullis design, a stylized gate surmounted by a crown, with the denomination 3p and the date 1953 flanking it. Its 12-sided design gives it a unique tactile and visual appeal, and its composition 79% copper, 20% zinc, and 1% nickel gives it a golden tone that hasn't lost its charm even after decades. When found in very fine condition, the coin maintains much of its original luster, sharp design details, and minimal wear on the raised surfaces. Though 1953 was not the lowest mintage year for the threepence, its historic importance makes it highly sought after, especially by those collecting full coronation year sets. Millions were minted for circulation, but finding one today in truly collectible condition is rare, especially considering how widely they were used in everyday transactions. Coins in poor or damaged condition, such as heavily worn or corroded specimens, still catch the interest of collectors simply due to the coronation year association. Damaged coins may not bring in top dollar, but they are often purchased by enthusiasts seeking to complete sets or preserve a bit of post-war British history. However, the real value lies in coins preserved in higher grades, like very fine, extremely fine, or uncirculated conditions. Now, let's talk about what you've been waiting for: the money. A 1953 threepence coin in damaged or circulated condition may only fetch between $10,000 on average. But when you step into the realm of very fine condition, prices take a noticeable jump. Coins graded as very fine, where most details are clearly visible, and whereas minimal, can easily fetch $20,000 depending on the buyer's interest and the overall appearance. If the coin has been well preserved with excellent eye appeal, auction prices can reach up to $45,000 or even more. In extremely fine to uncirculated condition, this coin has been known to sell for $100,000, especially when sold as part of a full 1953 coronation set or in a numismatic auction with high demand. Keep in mind that values fluctuate depending on market trends, collector interest, and the presence of historical collections coming to light. The coronation link adds a premium edge for commemorative and royal memorabilia collectors in particular. If you're looking to collect or sell a 1953 threepence, here are a few useful tips. First, always check the condition carefully. Coins in very fine or better grades retain value and are easier to resell. Look for clean fields, visible design elements, and minimal discoloration. Second, consider getting your coin professionally graded, especially if it appears to be in top condition. A certified grade from a reputable service like NGC or PCGS can dramatically increase buyer confidence and final sale price. Third, store your coin properly. Use acid-free holders or coin flips and avoid excessive handling. Exposure to moisture or improper cleaning can reduce both historical and monetary value. And finally, monitor auction sites and collector forums regularly to stay updated on market trends. Prices for coronation-related coins like this one can spike during anniversaries or royal events, so timing your sale could earn you a higher return. The 1953 United Kingdom threepence coin in very fine condition is more than just pocket change. It's a piece of British history. With ties to Queen Elizabeth II's coronation, unique design elements, and steady collector demand, this coin holds both emotional and financial value. Next up, the United Kingdom 3-pence coin from the year 1943. At first glance, it may seem like just another small brass coin from wartime Britain, but don't be fooled. Even in circulated or worn condition, the 1943 threepence has grown in popularity among collectors, with certain examples fetching surprisingly high prices in the global auction market, especially when converted into dollars. So, if you've ever stumbled upon this quirky, 12-sided coin in an old drawer or inherited collection, the 1943 UK 3-pence coin hails from a very significant time in world history. Smack in the middle of World War II. During this era, coin production was influenced by wartime materials shortages and economic challenges. The brass-nickel composition, used in lieu of silver due to the war effort, was both practical and symbolic. This threepence, often referred to as a threepenny bit, was introduced in the late 1930s and became one of the most iconic denominations of mid-20th century British coinage. The 1943 issue bears the effigy of King George VI, who led Britain through the difficult wartime years. The coin was part of everyday commerce, often used for small purchases like a loaf of bread or a pint of milk, giving it an important place in the lives of ordinary Britons. The 1943 3-pence coin stands out visually and tactily from most coins due to its distinct dodecagonal or 12-sided shape. It's made from a brass alloy known as nickel brass, giving it a golden hue quite different from the more common silver-colored coins of the time. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of King George VI, inscribed with Georgiev's 6D, G, BR, OMN, Rex F laughing face, IND, IMP, a Latin abbreviation that asserts him as King of all the Britons and Emperor of India. On the reverse, you'll find a stylized thrift plant, representing resilience and growth-fitting symbols for the wartime spirit. The words 3-pence and the date, 1943, are clearly stamped, making it both easily identifiable and historically rich. While millions of 1943 3-pence coins were minted, finding them today in good, readable, circulated condition can be more difficult than expected. Over time, many were lost, worn down, or damaged due to heavy use in wartime and post-war Britain. Collectors value coins that retain strong details, particularly in the portrait and thrift plant design, even if there is some surface wear or tarnishing. Ironically, because this coin was considered low value and common, few people thought to preserve them in mint or uncirculated condition. As a result, even circulated examples are now considered collectible, especially by those seeking to complete a wartime British coinage set. The condition of the coin, even if damaged, plays a role in its desirability. Heavily circulated pieces with visible date and features can still command good prices if they are structurally sound and not corroded beyond recognition. Now, let's talk numbers. In circulated condition, a 1943 3-pence coin typically sells for anywhere between $46,000, depending on how much of the detail remains visible. However, when it comes to exceptional pieces with strong definition and minor wear, prices can jump. Some collectors have paid $65,000 for circulated but clearly detailed specimens, especially if the patina adds to the coin's visual appeal. Auction houses and online coin platforms have even reported sales of high-grade circulated 1943 threepence coins in the $110,000 range when provenance, rarity in condition, or historical context boosted interest. It's a reminder that rarity isn't always about mintage numbers sometimes. It's about how many survive in a presentable form. If you're thinking of collecting or selling a 1943 3-pence coin, here are a few tips to consider. First, check the edges and surfaces carefully. Even in circulated condition, sharp edges and readable lettering add value. Avoid cleaning the coin, as this can destroy natural patina and dramatically reduce market value. When buying, always confirm authenticity through a trusted seller or numismatic dealer. If selling, consider listing the coin on auction platforms with a good collector-based marketplaces like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or even British numismatic sites that accept international buyers. Finally, consider pairing your 1943 coin with others from the same wartime period for a themed collection, which can raise overall interest and value. The 1943 United Kingdom 3-pence coin may seem humble, but it's a coin that speaks volumes about wartime resilience, historical transition, and the unexpected value hiding in the ordinary. Whether it's tucked away in a coin album or found at the bottom of an old box, this small brass coin has the potential to be a true treasure, especially in the hands of an informed collector. So, check your coin jars, ask your relatives, and keep an eye out at flea markets. You just might stumble upon a piece of history worth more than you ever imagined. Next up, the United Kingdom 3 Pence coin from the year 1937. But here's the twist, we're talking about one in damaged condition. Yes, even a worn-out or corroded 1937 threepence can fetch serious money in the auction market. So grab your magnifying glass, because you might just have one of these hiding in a forgotten coin jar or old drawer. The year 1937 was significant for British coinage. It marked the beginning of the reign of King George VI, who ascended the throne after the abdication of his brother, King Edward VIII. This year also introduced a new set of coins bearing the fresh portrait of the new monarch, and among them was the iconic brass nickel 3 pence coin. This coin was part of a larger effort to modernize the UK's currency system, moving away from the thin silver coins to a more durable and practical 12-sided brass design. While it was intended for everyday use, few realized that this experimental shift in materials and aesthetics would turn this modest coin into a collector's treasure decades later. The 1937 3 pence coin is instantly recognizable by its dodecagonal, 12-sided shape, a feature that made it easier to handle and distinguish from other denominations. It is struck in brass, consisting of 79% copper, 20% zinc, and 1% nickel, giving it a bold golden appearance when freshly minted. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget, while the reverse showcases a stylized thrift plant, designed by artist Francis Madge Kitchener, a symbol of thrift and economic prudence. This combination of design, shape, and metal composition made it stand out during its time, and even more so among collectors today. You might think that a damaged or worn coin wouldn't attract much attention, but that's where the 1937 3 pence surprises everyone. While millions were minted, only a fraction remain today due to circulation, corrosion, and being lost over time. When it comes to the 1937 edition, even a coin with discoloration, minor dents, or surface wear can hold value, especially if it's a genuine piece from that year and not a later replica or issue. Collectors are drawn to it not just for its age, but for being the very first of its kind under King George VI. A damaged coin that retains readable features like the date, monarch's portrait, and basic outline can still complete a set or satisfy the curiosity of historical coin enthusiasts. And because fully pristine examples are harder to find and often pricey, damaged coins become a more affordable, yet still valuable alternative for entry-level collectors. Now to the question that's on everyone's mind: how much is a damaged 1937 UK 3 pence coin worth today? In the international collector's market, especially in the United States, even a coin in less than perfect condition can fetch between $53,000 depending on the extent of the damage and the visibility of important details. Coins that show heavy wear but still display the date and the monarch's face clearly tend to sell for more. At auction, some damaged specimens have surprisingly gone for up to $100,000 due to bidding wars, collector sentiment, and historical value. It's important to remember that context and demand play a big role. A coin that might seem worthless in your drawer could be worth a lot more to someone trying to complete a historical collection. If you believe you found a 1937 3 pence coin damaged or not, don't toss it aside. First, gently clean it using safe methods that don't involve scrubbing or harsh chemicals. Preservation is key, even for damaged coins. Secondly, verify its authenticity by comparing it with online references or showing it to a professional numismatist. Avoid polishing it excessively, as that can lower its value even further. If you're planning to sell, consider listing it on reputable auction sites where British or vintage coin collectors shop. And if you're collecting, remember that even damaged coins can be part of a valuable and meaningful set, especially when you're working toward a complete year series or monarch portrait collection. The United Kingdom 1937 3 pence coin is more than just a small piece of brass. It's a symbol of transition, royal history, and numismatic innovation. Even in damaged condition, it holds real value in the eyes of collectors around the world, especially those fascinated by King George VI's reign and mid-20th century British currency. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone rummaging through old coins, keep an eye out for this little gem. It may not shine like it used to, but its history and rarity still glow, and in today's auction market, that glow can turn into real dollars. Next up, the United Kingdom 3 pence from the year 1967. While it may look ordinary to the untrained eye, especially in worn or rusty condition, this little coin can fetch a surprisingly good price in the collector's market, especially if it's in very fine or collectible state. Whether you're a longtime numismatist or someone who's just stumbled upon this coin in an old drawer, let's uncover the fascinating history, unique features, collector appeal, and the big dollar value this coin holds in the current auction scene. The 1967 UK 3-pence coin was part of Britain's pre-decimal currency system, which was in use until 1971. The coin represented 1/4 of a shilling or 1/80th of a pound. This specific coin was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and holds a nostalgic value for many Britons, marking the end of an era before the decimalization of British currency. 1967 was one of the last years the brass 3-pence was struck for circulation, with 1967 being a particularly large mintage year. However, despite the high number produced, time and circulation have worn down many of these coins, making well-preserved examples increasingly rare. Its history is tied closely to the social and economic transitions of 1960s Britain, a nation on the cusp of major monetary reform. One of the standout features of the 1967 3-pence coin is its unique dodecagonal or 12-sided shape. It was one of the few coins in the British monetary system at the time to deviate from the traditional round format, making it instantly recognizable. The coin was struck in nickel brass, giving it a rich golden hue when in excellent condition. On the obverse, it bears the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by artist Mary Gillick, with the legend Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina FD, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The reverse features a crowned portcullis, a symbolic gate from the Palace of Westminster designed by artist Edgar Fuller and modeled by Cecil Thomas. It also carries the denomination and the date, 1967, below the design. These intricate details, especially when preserved well, add significantly to the coin's desirability and value in today's numismatic market. Though 1967 saw a high mintage of over 67 million coins, the vast majority of them have suffered from decades of use, damage, or improper storage. As a result, finding a 1967 3-pence in very fine or extremely fine condition is surprisingly difficult today. Most surviving examples are in average or poor condition, often tarnished, corroded, or worn beyond recognition. Collectors often struggle to locate pieces with minimal wear and clearly legible inscriptions. Ironically, even coins in slightly damaged or rusty condition are beginning to draw interest, especially among new collectors and those looking for placeholders in their collection. However, serious collectors and auction houses place the most value on pieces that exhibit full detail, minimal scratching, and strong luster. Coins in very fine condition are especially prized and often fetch prices significantly higher than their face value. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part, the market value. In today's collector market, a 1967 UK 3-pence coin in average circulated condition might only fetch around $15,000, especially if worn or tarnished. However, when the condition moves up to very fine, the value increases substantially. Collectors and dealers are willing to pay anywhere between $50,000 for well-preserved examples. In extremely fine to uncirculated condition, these coins can reach $76,000, especially if authenticated and graded by a reputable service like NGC or PCGS. Auction platforms such as eBay, Heritage Auctions, or UK-based coin fairs have seen these coins sell for surprising amounts, particularly when listed with sharp photos and historical descriptions. The coin's uniqueness, combined with its nostalgia and collectability, drives its increasing appeal in the international coin market. If you happen to come across a 1967 3-pence coin, the first step is to examine its condition carefully. Use a magnifying glass to check for clear edges, readable inscriptions, and minimal surface wear. If the coin appears to be in very fine or better condition, consider storing it in a coin holder or airtight capsule to preserve its quality. Avoid cleaning the coin, as polishing or scrubbing can severely decrease its value. For those interested in collecting or investing, try to obtain coins with clear detail and minimal blemishes. Buying from reputable dealers or participating in certified auctions ensures authenticity and fair pricing. Lastly, consider having the coin professionally graded if you believe it to be in exceptional condition. It could dramatically increase its resale potential and value in the collector's market. The 1967 United Kingdom 3-pence coin is much more than just a piece of pocket change. It's a historic symbol from a pivotal time in British monetary history, a coin with a bold design and a golden gleam that still captures the eye of collectors today. While it may not seem rare at first glance, finding one in very fine or pristine condition is increasingly uncommon and, as we've seen, can translate into real market value in dollars. Whether you're holding on to one as a memory or discovering one in your change jar, Take a closer look, you might just be holding a small piece of history worth much more than you imagined. Next up, the United Kingdom 3 Pence coin from the year 1962. At first glance, it might seem like a common and humble coin. In the world of coin collecting, especially when it comes to pre-decimal British coinage, even the most ordinary-looking coins can hold extraordinary value, especially in fine condition or higher. We'll explore why the 1962 3-pence coin has caught the eye of collectors, what makes it special, and how much it can fetch in today's auction markets, especially when converted into US dollars. So, whether you're an experienced collector or just someone curious about old coins in your change drawer, the United Kingdom 3-pence coin, often referred to as the threepenny bit or threepence, has a long and proud history in British currency. The 1962 version of this coin was struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and is part of the third portrait series of her early reign. The coin was minted in the pre-decimal era when the British monetary system still followed the pounds, shillings, and pence structure. The 3-pence coin was a small denomination but widely used across the UK for everyday purchases, especially for items like sweets, newspapers, and even bus fares. The 1962 mintage was part of the nickel-brass 12-sided series introduced in 1937 to replace the earlier silver threepence coins. This sturdy and unique-looking coin symbolized post-war Britain's solid, reliable, and built to last. The 1962 3-pence coin is easily recognizable due to its dodecagonal 12-sided shape, a distinctive feature that sets it apart from many other British coins. It has a weight of 6.8 grams and a diameter of 21 millimeters, composed of a durable nickel-brass alloy. On the obverse side, it features the young laureate portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This image is iconic and represents the youthful optimism of the Queen's early reign. On the reverse side, you'll find a stylized depiction of a Tudor portcullis, a design originally used on Henry VII's badge and associated with Westminster. The inscription 3-pence appears along with the year 1962. Despite its widespread use, the coin's bold design, firm edges, and historical appeal make it a standout piece for many collectors. When it comes to rarity, the 1962 3-pence coin is considered extremely rare in general circulation. Over 67 million of them were minted, which is quite a high number. However, the story changes when we talk about condition. Most of these coins saw heavy circulation, and as a result, finding one in fine, very fine, or extremely fine condition is becoming increasingly difficult. Damaged, corroded, or worn-out pieces are still found quite often, especially in coin jars and estate clearances, but those usually hold only minimal value. However, even these damaged versions still attract beginner collectors or bulk coin traders due to their historical value and collectible appeal. The more pristine the coin, the more attention it gets at auctions and private sales. A 3-pence coin from 1962 that's in excellent, undamaged condition, with clean edges and visible features, can significantly increase its value and desirability. Now, let's get to the part that everyone's curious about: the moneyed up in today's auction and collector markets. A 1962 3-pence coin in average circulated condition may fetch between $10,000. However, coins graded in fine to very fine condition start drawing in prices around $20,000, and when you move into extremely fine or uncirculated categories, the value can rise to $52,000, depending on the buyer's interest and the coin's eye appeal. Special sales on platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, or UK-specific coin sites have seen pristine 1962 3-pence coins go for as high as $100,000 or more, especially when accompanied by certificates of authenticity or proof sets. Remember, value is not only determined by age or mintage. It's about the combination of rarity, demand, and most importantly, condition. For those looking to start or expand their collection, the 1962 3-pence is a fantastic entry point into British pre-decimal coins. If you're hunting for this coin, make sure to inspect the surfaces for smoothness, clarity in design, and absence of corrosion or green spots, a common issue with nickel brass coins. Store your coins in acid-free holders or display cases to prevent further tarnishing. Always buy from reputable dealers or auction houses, especially when investing in coins for their value. Also, keep an eye out for proof versions, mint errors, or misstruck examples. They are very rare but can skyrocket in value if authenticated. Lastly, remember to cross-check prices across several platforms before selling or buying to get the best deal. To wrap things up, the United Kingdom 3-pence coin from 1962 may seem small and modest, but in the world of numismatics, it holds a quiet power, especially when in fine or uncirculated condition. It tells a story of post-war Britain, evolving currency systems, and the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. While not the rarest coin out there, its unique design and historical importance give it a charm that many collectors find irresistible. And in today's market, that charm can translate to real dollar value, sometimes more than you might expect. So, check your old collections, rummage through those coin jars, and you might just discover a little piece of British history that's worth more than its face value. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into rare British coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on future videos. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your pockets be full of hidden treasures.